It just shocked me when I was reading this. You say Casey told not one but two therapists that her own father, George Anthony, murdered Kaylee, either intentionally or in the act of molestation. Tell us everything you know about this.
Well, what we learned from the mental health professionals in the course of deposition was that they had questioned Casey about what happened on the 16th. And her version was that she was awakened that day by her father. It was similar to the story that Jose told. The difference is that Casey went to great lengths to point out certain facts that in her mind indicated that Kaylee had not died by accident, that in fact she had been murdered. The most important one was what we all agreed to, which was that Kaylee could not have gotten in the pool by herself. Casey was very emphatic with both the doctors about that fact. The other important fact was she went to great lengths to point out certain facts, as she said they were, indicating that George had killed her, such as she was very descriptive about what part of George's body was wet. It went to great lengths to point out that, in her version, his body was wet from the waist up, as if he had been holding her underwater, not from the waist down, as if he jumped in the pool to get her out. She went to great lengths to talk about the clothing that Kaylee, to one of the doctors, about the clothing that Kaylee was wearing, saying that George had essentially changed her clothes. Somehow that meant something to her. But she was quite emphatic that this wasn't an accident, that George had murdered her.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Take a look at this from opening statement. Jose Baez speaking. You remember this.
As soon as Casey came around this corner and went back, she saw George Anthony holding Kaylee in his arms. She immediately grabbed Kaylee and began to cry and cry and cry. And shortly thereafter, George began to yell at her. "Look what you've done!"
All right, so Jose Baez, again, saying it's an accident in opening statement. Okay, in Imperfect Justice, you say that Casey had, previous to that, said that she believed her father drowned Kaylee deliberately or drowned her while he was molesting her. And this is according to what she told the shrinks. You call this the nuclear lie. First of all, if it's true that she said this, and I certainly don't think you're making up anything that these psychiatrists and therapists are writing down, and I don't think they're making it up. If it's not true, if she's making it up out of whole cloth the way she made up everything else, is this pure evil at work?
It's pure manipulation at work. It's pure selfishness at work. It certainly shows a malevolence toward her father that is even hard to imagine. I mean, it's hard to envision anything that would have been more painful to her father than saying that he murdered this little child that he loved so dearly. So I do think that the story was concocted not only to meet the evidence, to explain away the evidence that we had to the best she could, but also to just really put a knife in George's heart.
Unbelievable. And